was thinking of making a video about how can you become your teacher's loved one, which is loved student, to be clear. But I thought that it will be way better for me to summarize the book, which is Persuasion. It's a book that will teach you the lesson of which I was trying to give you, and at the same time it will give you even more, so you can apply it in whatever situation you're in. So Persuasion is actually a very brief book. On books, Apple Books, it's about 67 pages, of which I would consider as a very small book. There's not a lot of pages, but I would say that the meaning in between the pages is absolutely worth it. So when it comes to persuasion, there is a lot of rules, and that's why the book is basically just a set of rules. It's a combination of a lot of rules put together on chapters, of which every chapter gives you a side of persuasion. So at first it gives you the 6 elements of persuasion, which are the fundamentals for you to understand the rest of the book. So when it comes to the first one, I can summarize it for you to be easy. I'd summarize it as some traits that a human have that it will make it most likely that people will be persuaded by your arguments or whatever you want. The book even argues about, do you feel the inferior person, whether in your job you want to raise, or in your family you feel like they're not respecting you, or they never listen to you in making the decisions, and so on and so forth. It's definitely a very precise problem, and it comes even with a very precise solution to it. So at first we have likability. So if you like a person, it's more likely that you will be persuaded by him. So whether that means charming personality, friendly, or probably also some other metrics. So the first one is likeliness. Are you a likable person? The second trait is marking the body language of the one that you're trying to persuade. But the book, or the writer of the book, then proceeds with that, and he says, you must be careful, because if you do it too much or you do it so fast, the one you're trying to persuade, there is a chance that he will notice, and then it will not work. It will ruin everything, and he will mention it. Then if he mentions it, then it means it's not working. So then he proceeds with a way which he says, you need to wait for a few minutes, then just try the body language of which he did. 4 minutes, it's a lot of time, but that will assure you that he will not notice that you're trying to do the same body language as he. The other points of which he tries to talk about is give a reason. He also gives some research about how people are more likely to say yes just because you gave a reason. As an example, if there is a line, there is a Stanford research that says there's a 70% more chance that you can get ahead in the line just by asking and giving a reason. Asking alone is obviously better than not asking. Alright? We're trying here to develop and upgrade our ways to ask. So we asked, then so how can we ask it? What are the principles of which we can follow? And that's exactly what the book is all about. I'd say one of the most important lessons to me, it's definitely personality when it comes to that, because he just explains on how if you like a person, it's more likely that you will be persuaded by him. The second thing is bravery. If someone is brave to say his opinions, probably there is a high likability that you will be persuaded by his, whether his opinions or whether he's trying in an argument or whatever that is. You can implement it in so many ways, in selling, in school, in work, whether you're trying to get a raise in your family, to make the decision that you actually want. All of these are traits, all of these are ways and times when you can implement these rules that I'm talking about. So the book then proceeds with it, and he says it's more likely that you will be persuaded by someone who gives you respect and he is respected. So if you respect someone, it's more likely that you will be persuaded by him. So try to be a respectful person. Respect yourself at first hand, and the second hand, people respect you. I would say here as a note that the only way that people can respect you is by doing stuff that probably not everyone is doing. And the second thing is be with men and have some rules in your life, have some principles, have some dignity, have some honor, have some human first-hand mindset. It's the no-brainers that people used to say, but we see it so many times and times again. I'm telling you, I see it every day, especially with the growing generation. They don't have these first principles. It's just like it's a no-brainer for old people, but it's somehow it's not so for the younger people, if that is correct. So I would actually end this with a part from this book, which actually says about talks that all of these traits are usable, but the hardest thing is with people that are hard to negotiate, the people that tells you no. And he says there's no point of trying to fight, and there's no point of trying to surrender early. So you try to attack, but somehow passive action or passive aggressive. And he even proceeds with that, and he says there is ways of which you can actually persuade people who tells you no, and a good persuader is the person that wins always in argument. And the only way that you can do it is by never being afraid of pulling up a fight.